Your Denver Broncos just get a triple dose of fantastic news as the Green Bay Packers head into town to take on your 11-2 Denver Broncos. We get more advanced analytics that prove Bo Nix is already him and a top 5 quarterback in several massive metrics. And we have the blueprint for how we stop Jordan Love and this high-powered Green Bay Packers offense. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben. Helps me in the YouTube algorithm out a ton. If you like the Broncos, smash that like and subscribe button. So the great news here is that as all these other teams, like we watch Monday Night Football and Herbert getting sacked 8 times because he cannot keep his offensive line healthy. The Broncos just keep getting healthier and healthier, and we get the triple whammy today. Not only do the Denver Broncos have returning back to the starting lineup DJ Jones, which is a massive move. We know the San Francisco 49ers wanted him super bad to come back to San Francisco, and Sean Payton was like, no, you're staying here. We know what the guys think about DJ Jones, and he's going to be massive as the Broncos truly need to key in and stop Josh Jacobs. He has just been one of those running backs who lives rent-free in every Broncos head because he has never lost to the Denver Broncos and has played us 8 times and almost has like close to 1,000 yards in 8 games against us, dating back to when he was a Vegas Raider and we could not get him down. So having DJ Jones back in on our defensive line makes me way more confident about that matchup. But then truly the great news here is that Nate Adkins and Ben Powers are both back in the building, and those cannot be understated how huge those are. So starting off, obviously with Nate Adkins, like we saw Prentice have a huge run and Bo Nix do the mind-blown thing after our fullback Prentice had a run, but we cannot understate how huge Nate Adkins was. Like the fact that he even made this roster when he was injured and dinged up going into the season. Sean Payton just said he is way too good of a player for us not to have. Without him out there, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll somehow fill that void. There are very few starters on this team that Sean Payton would talk so like melancholy about when he lost him. And Nate Adkins is one of those dudes going back all the way to when he was with University of South Carolina. His head coach at the time said like, hey, he's our Swiss Army knife. If I could have a team of 53 Nate Adkins, I would. He's on special teams. He can play anywhere. He is an absolute brilliant and talented player. His dad is I think he's an offensive coordinator for the University of South Carolina. So a really like coach's son type dude who's just absolutely brilliant, yoked. And Sean Payton talks about like, hey, everything he does for you, he never lets you down in anything he does. His pass pro is the best. His catching is the best. His route running is the best. His pass blocking is the best. His run blocking is the best. This dude is an absolute difference maker, and I think it is huge for the Denver Broncos to have him back in the starting lineup. And the other news here is obviously Ben Powers coming back to this, that we know Bo Nix is already one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the entire NFL, and he's doing that with the Denver Broncos' 4th option at guard. So we know going into the season, Ben Powers was option number 1. Option 2 was Gargulio, who tore his ACL and was out the season, and then it was Matt Peart, and from Matt Peart, after Matt Peart got hurt in that Jets game, then we went to Palcho, and he's stepped up and played awesome. But having Ben Powers back, it was truly one of the first moves Sean Payton did when he came to Denver, was said, hey, I need to shore up this offensive line, and he went out and got Mike McGlinchey, and then he got Ben Powers. And so he talked about it's with Ben Powers, it's not only the tape, but it's his makeup, how smart he is, and it's the fact that he's a perfect fit for any system, and Sean Payton absolutely adores him. And so I think having him back is going to be huge. Now, this opens up his 21-day window. We are not necessarily guaranteed that he's going to be back against the Green Bay Packers, but I think we had heard December, and a lot of times people like to crap on Sean Payton and think he's blowing smoke, but Sean Payton said he'll be back in December, and December is still cooking, and it looks like Ben Powers is on pace to come back. So yet again, I need to have a whiteboard of all the promises Sean Payton makes that the rest of the national media is like, oh, that'll never happen, and he's just checking that box. So 3 really, really good pieces of news right there for sure. Other things that came up in the press conference today, Sean Payton likes his chances at home and just talks about what a huge advantage playing not only at 5,280 feet over sea level is for these teams playing at sea level coming in, and it is the altitude advantage is a real advantage. But in addition to that, Mile High has been off of the chains after almost a decade of not making the playoffs. The amount of noise and energy in the building against that Kansas City Chiefs team was demonstrable, and Sean Payton remarked on it and said, hey, I'm expecting that from here on out. So if you are going to that game on Sunday, you better be making as much noise as legally possible and make that noise start from the very jump. And it's not just when they're out there about to snap. It's when Jordan Love is in the huddle. You make a ton of noise. And Sean Payton said that's the advantage, right? That we got, yes, we have a hard 4-game stretch, but we get 3 of those at home with all of you crazies making all that noise. And I love that. And then Sean Payton talked about like another thing that has truly improved over these past 2 games in particular is the lack of times that Bo Nix is starting behind the sticks, because we've really cleaned up our offensive penalties. On the defensive side of the ball, we still need to clean up some of that kind of stuff, but offensively we're doing a lot less false starts and a lot less holds. And Sean Payton just talked about, hey, it's really hard to recover from a holding penalty that's 10 yards, and all of a sudden you're talking 2nd and 20. Like that's a difficult thing for any quarterback to do, and that's a huge improvement for sure. And then Sean Payton talked about how they have plans for Micah Parsons. That is a player on that defensive line that truly scares you. But just like we've seen, obviously with McGlinchey and then Garrett Bowles, like they have been holding up against tandems of pass rushers. Like they held up against Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. And so while you could definitely say Micah Parsons is the top, like that's not as scary to just have Micah Parsons as it is to stop Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter, in my opinion. And so they can move him all over the formation, and the Broncos are prepping for that and ready for that for sure. So then a lot being talked about how the Broncos are underdogs going into this game. And looking at CBS, Rank is the only guy who picked the Broncos to win this game against the Packers. And I think we're 2.5-point underdogs right now. Well, Drake May was asked, what is it like to be as an underdog? Because they are also underdogs to the Buffalo Bills, even though they already beat them once this year. And he's like, I think anytime you're home and you're an underdog, it gives you a little something extra to play for. So that's the actual truth there. Then we heard Bo Nix and Sean Payton ask the exact same question, and we get the run-of-the-mill political answer, because this team, it's like a swan under the water, where like up top, everything seems calm and everything seems cool, but underneath that is eating them up. Bo Nix has the perfect answer to not give any locker room material to the Packers, and he said, it doesn't really matter to me. My mom thinks we're going to win, and so that's all that really matters to me. So perfect answer for Bo to not rile up the Packers, but that is eating Sean Payton. That is eating Bo Nix up, that like we've just won 10 straight. Like we won in Philly. We beat the Chiefs. Like we beat the Cowboys, the best offense in football. Like we're a very good team, and you're still saying we're underdogs to a team that lost to the Panthers and the Browns. Like it doesn't even make sense, but I absolutely love it. Now, there are a lot of, especially on The Ringer, there are a lot of The Ringer's Bill Simmons show. A lot of people out there just absolutely taking turns dunking on Bo Nix and saying that he's captain checkdown still and that he's not an actual franchise quarterback. And there were some stats recently that dropped that I just thought were phenomenal here that show you how good Bo Nix truly is. So this advanced analytics is showing you how quarterbacks perform when they're expected to throw the ball. So you're talking 3rd and long. When Bo Nix is expecting to be throwing the ball in expected pass situations, he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. So phenomenal stat there for the guy who has been playing with a roster that's constructed all around money going to Russell Wilson, and that doesn't have to happen anymore. We're going to be able to throw offensive weapons around him in a way that we haven't so far. And so to see him over dudes like Sam Darnold, who just has all of this wide receiver talent around him, and guys like Caleb Williams, who all we heard was that's the best situation a rookie quarterback has ever been thrown into, to have Bo Nix top 10 on this list it is a phenomenal thing. Getting another one here. So we all have talked about like, hey, the way for Bo Nix to win a ball game is not for him to throw the ball 50 times a game. I thought that was absolutely true, that it's really hard to win the game when our starting quarterback is throwing 40 plus times. But did you know that Bo Nix has one of the highest winning percentages when he throws the ball more than 40 times in a game? Absolutely phenomenal stat for a rookie quarterback whose entire team built around him is hamstrung by the Russell Wilson dead cap hit. Seeing his name over Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Tua, Herbert, like the only person who's better than him is Patrick Mahomes, and Bo Nix has played 7 games where he has to throw the ball more than 40 times, and he's won 5 of them. I think that's a phenomenal stat for a rookie quarterback, and I actually think the first game he ever played, he threw the ball over 40 times. So you take that one away, and you're talking Bo Nix is 5-1 in that. And then if you look here, when it really matters, which is when you are on 3rd down, or you are needing to score a touchdown, who has the most first down throws or touchdown throws on 3rd down? And you're looking Bo Nix, again, another top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback, top 3 quarterback, the only ones above him, Josh Allen and Justin Herbert. So all of that to be said, guys, Bo Nix is not something we should look past or wonder if, like, is he actually good, or do we just convince ourselves that he's good? He's actually good, and he's about to put it on display in front of the entire world because we are the national game against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. Loving that. And you can already tell Matt LaFleur is shook by this team, right? The Broncos 2 seasons ago, when Bo Nix was a rookie and hadn't even started yet, we did a joint practice where the Green Bay Packers were almost exactly as they're constructed right now, but with their tight end who was still healthy. They did not have Micah Parsons yet, and the Denver Broncos absolutely destroyed them during that preseason. They did joint practice and then did a preseason game. And Matt LaFleur had like a come to Jesus meeting with his team, like, hey, we don't look like these guys just owned us. They just dog walked us. And so he was asked today, like, hey, what's your plan to stop this pass rusher? And he said, that's a great question, and nobody has figured out the answer to it yet. So the Broncos showed you 2 seasons ago when they beat this Packers team with Russell Wilson. We've seen the Packers record against the Broncos as of recent, and it looks really good when we were playing at altitude against them. And then, again, here is the actual blueprint for how do you stop Jordan Love. Jordan Love, when he plays against a man coverage, he absolutely feasts, okay? So looking at his EPA, it's he throws 12% of his touchdowns when he's in man coverage. He's got a 53% success rate, and his EPA is 49 when he is playing up against a man coverage. When he's playing against zone, you can see that he only throws 1.4% of his touchdowns, and his success rate is much less. And so I think the method here, although it's really tempting because we just have this incredible secondary with Pat Surtain and Riley Moss, the temptation is going to be to go into man coverage. Well, we know that is what Jordan Love does best, so let's make him do what he does worst, which is play against the zone. Let's stop the run, which I am confident we're going to do. The Denver Broncos are going to be 12-2. What are we even talking about? It's the best day ever. Broncos country, we got a ton to BO-Lieve in. Oh, come on.